Stampers, I'm Dawn Tidd with Tidbits from Dawn. Today on my blog, I posted these cute Easter boxes. They hold just a couple of Dove chocolates, and they're very simple to make. So I'd like to show you how I did these, and maybe you'd like to create some yourself. Come on into my craft room and let's get started. Okay, we're back at the craft table, and you know the first thing that I like to do is introduce you to the cast of characters that I'll be using for today's project. So of course we're going to use a scoring tool. I have a piece of cardstock here that's cut at 5.5 by 8.5. So it's just a regular half-size sheet of paper that you'd use to make a A2 card. I've got my paper snips. The stamp set that I used, let me show you one of these up close. This one I used A Good Day, which you can see here. And you can use any of the critters, but I just stamped a whole bunch of bunnies on a piece of Whisper White, and I just color them as I need them. Of course, I use my Stampin' Blends to color. So I'll set this back here, and then I used these layering circle dies, and I used the very smallest circle, plain circle, to cut out the bunny portion here. On this one too, something different, I used the basket weave new. It's in the Celebration this time for the second round. It comes as a little bundle, but this is so fun. I just put it on my cardstock and ran it through the Big Shot twice, this way, here, and then the other end too. And it doesn't really matter if they meet in the middle or not, because that'll be the bottom of your box anyway. And then we used 2 punches. I used the 2 scallop punches that go along with the Good Day stamp set, the 1 1/8 and the 1 3/8. So I won't be using the 1 3/8 because I've already got the little tag made, but I will be using the 1 1/8 to punch the holes where you put your ribbon. So we'll go ahead and get started scoring. On the long side, you're going to score at, I'm doing this upside down for me, so you're going to score at 1 3/4, and then 3.5, and 5, and 6 3/4. And then on the short side, turn it around, and you'll just make 2 scores here at 1.5, and then again at 4. Okay. And that's all the scoring that you'll do. And if I don't put that back in the scoring tool, then I won't be able to find it. So I spend half my life looking for things. So the next thing you're going to do is make some snips up to the score lines that you just made. And you'll take your, well actually, I'm going to do something different this time. I made a little template of this area on the short end, the middle area, and I went ahead and punched a circle out so I could tell where to put my punch when I got ready to do this box. And I think it's going to be easier. I've done it every time before. I've done it with the little flaps cut, but I think it's going to be much easier just to do it with them all adhered. So that's what I'm going to do this time. And when I come back, I'll have little pieces of this Berry Burst cardstock everywhere because it pops out. And that goes right into my little crumb bowl. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other end. Let's see. Line this up. Takes just a second. Once you get it lined up, you can just punch it right out. So now we've already got our little holes punched. And you may have another punch that you'd like to use. It doesn't really matter. I know when I came across this little sample that I made years ago, I was using a mini oval punch that we used to have. So on each end then, you're just going to cut in down to the score line that goes horizontally across. So you're just cutting down to the score lines on either end. Now on the long side, you're not going to cut the ones that connect there. You're just going to cut the 2 center ones. But you are going to have to make another little cut, which I'll show you in just a second. So you're going to cut to the middle. This is going to be the bottom of your box, so you're going to cut to make a flap on either side of that. And then you see how these are kind of folded? Kind of looks like a diaper fold. Almost looks like a picnic basket in a way. But anyway, to get that fold, you're going to cut from the outside edge of the side down to that line you just trimmed on all 4 of those. So you're going to want to leave that attached. Do it again on this side, same thing. So I know I'm going to make at least 9 of these for my grandchildren. I don't know how many more I may make because they're pretty easy to do. I'll make one for my mom. My dog keeps wandering back and forth. He may be trying to tell me something, but he'll just have to wait a little bit. And then before I start folding, I'm going to apply adhesive to each of these little flaps. Well, first, let me go back one step. I'm going to cut off each of those little flaps that are next to the ones where we punched holes in. And I'm just eyeballing, maybe 1/4 of an inch. I didn't measure this. I just want to cut them off. Because if you don't, they'll drag the bottom of the box when you go to fold. And it just doesn't make it. It makes it kind of pop up all the time instead of stay in place. So we're going to cut all 4 of those off just a little bit. My crumb bowl's getting full today. And then we're going to just put a little adhesive on each of those flaps before we start folding in. You're going to fold these up, and I'll just work with one end at a time and kind of get them to meet right in that corner there, and then just fold this one over and push it down just like that. And the same thing on the other side. Just push it down. So now you've got half, you can see on the end, you've got half of your little, it's like a half square triangle kind of, from quilting. Okay, then you're going to fold up your other side and do the exact same thing. Just fold it up and push this over so it goes right down in. But it's not dragging the bottom because we cut that little 1/4 inch off. And there you have your box. And then all you have to do is take your ribbon. We're using some Berry Burst ribbon. And I tie my bows before I cut them off the ribbon. So, let's get this going. Let me see if I can tie an upside down bow. I think I have enough there. Okay. See how skilled I am at bow tying. I know a lot of the ladies that come to my stamp classes, I tie their bows ahead of time because none of them like to tie bows. So they're usually always prepped unless it's just something that I can't tie for them ahead. And even then I'm usually tying them during class. So here is my little attempt at upside down bow tying. How did it turn out? Alright. Let me trim off this other side. Of course, I'm going to have to untie it so I can fill it anyway. And then I went ahead and did the little bunny for the front. And he's all ready to go on. And I'll just use a little more fast fuse for him. Sometimes I have to use my finger to roll my fast fuse. And then just center that on there. All complete. There you go. So now I hope you'll take this little box pattern and I will post the scoring and measurements for you at the bottom of the blog post that you can find them there. I'll try to get them on this video too if I can manage. But anyway, it's a little technical, but I'll try. Anyway, y'all have a good afternoon, and I hope that you have enjoyed this video. Come back and see